Hello everybody and welcome to another complete unboxing. I am Evan Erwin. We are looking at Fate Reforged today. Look, it's Fate Reforged, sweet. It's the new Magic set. And I'm looking forward to opening this box here. We're going to ideally get some really cool, sweet, foily, expensive stuff. Maybe some fetch lands because those are returning from cons, which will be nice. And, fingers crossed, this is going to be a sweet booster box to open. Fantastic. So, let's get started, shall we? It is time to tear off the plastic from the side. Okay, I kind of like and always dislike this part because there's always kind of awkwardness of, well, the plastic doesn't cooperate like it's doing right now. Yeah, that was part of my set that went flying. It's fine. It's all good. You know, this is reality, people. This is reality television for 2015. And all right, so Fate Reforged. Here we go. We got our cool little slip that goes in the top. In case you've purchased a booster box, you too can see Sarkin being all upset. And there's Friday Night Magic is the best night of the week, according to Wizards of the Coast. All right, so let's get out some packs because they're easier to get a hold of when they're kind of splayed out this way. And we're going to begin. And I will lay out all the cool stuff, and the not so cool stuff we'll just kind of put into a pile, which is fine. So, pack numero uno. Whoop. Thanks. There's an upside down pressure point. Harsh Sustenance, that's a very good card. All right, we have our Foremost Nurturing, Hungering Yeti, the Boom Keg, which is kind of bad, and then after Wild Slash, it's Stand Step Mastodon. Awesome and limited. Not so great as something you open in your booster box. That's okay. First up. Now second. Okay. Obzon Sky Captain, so good. The Rune Marks, which have their various amounts of playability. Some are better than others. Whisk Away, which is a pretty good trick. The Crew Shock, your old 5-mana 3/5s. Shuhei Nakamura, who loves a 5-mana 3/5, would approve. Fearsome Awakening, yeah, that's a thing. There's a Black Dragon, which is really sweet. And Flame Rush Rider, I like this card a lot. I don't really actually know if it's going to get there and constructed, but I would love for it to because I think it's a really sweet ability, and it's a really cool card that I like a lot. But I think it's also an intro pack rare, which is a thing. And generally, intro pack rares have been not good and constructed. So I think I spotted a foil in this one. We'll see what it is. All right, there is Enhanced Awareness and your Gurmag Angler, because, you know, they're running out of names in Magic, honestly. Let's call a spade here. Soul Summons, super sweet, though. I like that a lot. Not Guide, man, can't beat that guy. Guy's sweet. Sudden Reclamation, yeah, that's a card. It's instant, which is really good, which is the important part. Autarka, World Render. This card is sweet. I actually hope to see this in play with the Xenagos, the God version, that gives it haste and +X and just kill people out of nowhere. But, you know, Christmas Land aside, that's the thing. Oh, it's a shiny 5-mana 3/5. The treasures that this box provides are incredible. My life won't be the same after I open this rare and this foil. Okay. So, foil Ugin, that's where we're at. That's where we want to go. We want to be like Toot Toot on the foil Ugin or the foil Soulfire Grandmaster train. I'll be okay with either of those. So here we see our Harsh Sustenance, our Abzon Sky Captain, and Rune Mark, and Dousing Gloom, and War Flare. You know, I tell you, I could almost swear this is a print run. Sandstep Outcast, where you will almost always choose the free 1/1 flyer. But sometimes when you got a bunch of, +1/+1 counters on your guys' stuff, that's sweet. Rage Form, also known as a ton of text. See all that? Woo! Ice Cauldron would be proud, because that's a lot of words. Merciless Executioner. I love me a Fleshbag Marauder. This card is so sweet. If you never got to play with Fleshbag Marauder, you now can. Monastery Siege, super good. I hope to see it in constructed because I think it's great. A foil Rugged Highlands. See, that's better. That's better than your 3/5s of the world. That's a pretty sweet foil. I dig it. And you also have a Dismal Backwater. You know, again, I could be okay with that was a polluted delta, but it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. All right. So, keep moving on here. Up next, there's Avon Surveyor. Card is fantastic and limited. And Social Vengeance, same thing. Soul Summons. Man, this pack is stacked. I like it a lot. That guy's not good, though. That's a piggy guy. All right, first up is Ward Scale Dragon. Card is very good and limited. Humble Defector is like my favorite thing ever to do and untap and use again and untap and use again and bounce and do the things. Card is fantastic. Reality Shift, which I am fingers crossed is going to see a ton of constructed play because I think it's really good. Scroll of the Masters, really not good. Ugh, not even that good in limited. Kind of breaks my heart. Dismal Backwater. Okay, we have our gain lands, as we like to call them, because they gain your life instead of pinging you for a life like pain lands. It's all very clever now, isn't it? Okay, so we have our Sultai Rune Mark. Ooh, Butt Fight. I like Butt Fight. Butt Fight's my favorite. Pressure Point. Card is fantastic. This card is basically unplayable. Just unplayable. Just don't play it. It looks good, and I appreciate that, but it's unplayable. Formless Nurturing, which is always fun. Teamer, Battle Rage, woo! That's an instant. It does scary things. Cash Defenses. Looks a lot better than I think it ultimately ends up being, but it's still good. We have our Prowess Dude with the Lotus Eye. Anything that says Lotus is always exciting in Magic. And there are our Sage Eye Avengers. Wow. Avengers assemble and destroy target limited game. Because that's what they're going to do. They will wreck your face. Alright, we're going to open the Ugin pack right there. See, that means one's in it. That's what that means. That's not what that means. Okay. Hooded Assassin. Ethereal Ambush is so sweet. I love Manifest. I think it's really cool. I'm excited to see if Manifest can ever get constructed in any way. We shall see. There's Map the Wastes. Yay. There's a Lightning Shrieker. Okay. There's your Einot Guides of the world. Teamer Sabertooth. Rawr. Card is a bomb and limited. Mind Scour Dragon. Pretty good. Yeah, dragons and limited are good. Neutralizing Blast. Terrible and limited. Don't play it. Citadel Siege. Hey-oh. While we're looking at super sweet rares and limited, Citadel Siege is it and could very well reach constructed. We'll see. But both halves of this card are just completely absurd, honestly. They do what you want to do exactly when you want to do it. Like, oh, I guess I'll just make my guys huge and kill you. Or you just cast something I can't deal with, so I'll stop it forever. Both pretty good options. Your Abzan Rune Marks of the world. Roxasha's Disdain. There's another Hooded Assassin. There's another Unplayable. Lotus Bastion. Super good and limited. Crazy good. I like it a lot. Right into Bean. That's a weird little card that's manifesty. Rite of Undoing, very, very good. The fact this has Delve is just absurd. It makes it very, very playable. We have our Shadow Spear, which is not that great. Hey, look, another Siege. Cool. The best part about these Sieges, and I don't know if we're going to get to see it, but when they're foil, depending on which way you turn the card like this, you'll see the Khans of Tarkir symbol or you'll see the Dragons of Tarkir symbol. And so you choose Khans or Dragons. That is clever. Way to go, Wizards. All right, so it's our Windscarred Crag. Crag, where you live? I live in the Crag. Like, you know, Crag Alley. Crag Way, Crag Boulevard. Okay. Abzan Sky Captain. There's our Rune Marks again and Dousing Glooms. Again, I think I've seen these three cards together a lot. And there's our War Flare. Lightning Shrieker's bad. Remember, it's bad. It's bad. Don't play it. But it is probably pretty cool for a popper deck, which I think is nice. And if you had some way to return it or whatever, it'd be sweet, but not really in limited, it's bad. But Pyrotechnics in limited is fantastic and was originally played from Legends, which I think is great because I like seeing really old cards that can still be played today. I think that's a great thing that Magic can tout. Lotus Eye Mystics, we don't tout that. Arc Bond, not Arc Bound, Arc Bond, because, you know, Arc Bound was a thing in Mirrodin, and it's not so much now, but this card is really cool and very powerful. We'll see if it can actually do anything. But we do have a foil rare. Hey-oh, there's Avengers Assembling. Yeah, look at that. Look at how shiny. Look at how crazy shiny. That's cool. This card is sweet. I could have, you know, went with a foil Ugin as my foil rare. I'm okay with that, you know, but fine. Sage Eye Avengers it is. Card is incredibly powerful and limited, and that's fine. Next up, there's more of those Hooded Assassins. Ethereal Ambush is very, very good. I like Refocus a lot. Card is great. We have our Dousing Glooms, our Will the Naga. Look at that artwork. Look at that artwork. It's so good. It's so crazy, crazy good. I am very impressed by that one. There's your Return to Your Earth. A Russian Warbeast, so we have our uncommons here. This guy is freaky. Look at that guy. He looks freaky as all get out. What did they tell them to draw? Just come up with, like, nightmare fuel. All right. Dragon Rage is a really awesome card, if nothing else, because it's like a really unique, strange effect that is just odd. Bloodfire Enforcers, which is also sort of known as the card no one ever wants to block, because they can get blown out. And Jeskai Infiltrator is really strange, but does a really cool effect on the game. You know, being able to sort of have a hidden morph. You're not really sure what it is. You're not really sure if the manifested card is this guy or the other one. That's fantastic. Thornwood Falls, obviously. Playable as a gain land, as they do. All right. Next up, there's the unplayable Avon Skirmisher. Kind of makes me sad, but it's life. All right, there's your Sky Captain with your rune mark. You see this very often. I've seen it with Dawson Glue. We've seen this like 4 times. All right, there's collateral damage into your team of rune mark. I like Right into Bean. I like the idea that you don't necessarily have to have an amazing manifest card, but you get to choose which one that is. Brave Strength is sweet. There's a dragon again. Archfiend of Depravity, amazing limited bomb. Probably pretty good in a casual deck. Not going to see constructed play, but you know, Lord knows, 5 mana for a 5/4 flyer that makes them sack dudes is heck of a powerful card. Windscarred Crag, getting craggy. That's all I'm saying. Getting crag-tastic. And here is our Ugin pack. Come on. Again, while we have opened a foil rare, sometimes they have more than one. Usually there's just one a box, but I would still be okay with a sweet, sweet mythic. There's our Jeskai Sages and our Sig Host, which is like really wizards, seriously. Ration Cleric. Now this image I thought was cool because the other day I saw a post where they noted that this was an actual painting. Like it's actually starting to become more and more rare that Magic cards, as you see them, are not purely digital. This is an actual oil painting, and I think that's really sweet. All right, Defiant Ogre, one of the worst of the put a +1/+1 counter on me or not cards, which is a thing. There's that Right into Bean again, as we saw. So Sage's Reverie should be very, very good when you're able to stack a bunch of cool stuff onto it, and it gets bonuses, and it draws cards, and that's fantastic. Battle Brawler, fingers crossed, will make constructed. I think it's very, very strong. Hero's Blade, I like the design of this. I love the idea that it's triggering on the legendary creature, and of course, obviously, you have your Burmaz, you know, your 2-drop Hero's Blade into Burmaz, smash with a 6/6, which is absurd. Crucible of the Spirit Dragon, man, this card is weird. I don't know exactly what's going on with it, but it's one of those, like, you're glad that it exists, and it's all flavorful, and it has stuff to do with the story, and then you're like, yeah, whatever. So let's get started with the next batch here. All right, so let's keep going, as you do, with our packs here. And we have your Abzan Rune Marks, your Even Surveyors, and your Ancestral Vengeance. I remember seeing those two. We have seen these two in succession. Soul Summons is a very good limited card. I like it a whole bunch. There's your Sandstep Outcast, also very good, which I like a whole bunch. There's Dark Deal, which people are kind of excited about. I'm not really, but, you know, you never know. We'll see if it works out. Marty Will Reaper, because, you know, Savannah Lions used to be cool, and now people are like, that's all it does? I mean, like, come on, man. Wild Call is really cool. I've actually seen people start to put this in Constructed, which I think is really interesting, but could be very, very powerful, which is neat. And there's Blossoming Sands. Oh, how the sands blossom. They're so blossomy. All right, so we have a Ration Cleric, we have our Whisk Away, our Sig Host, as they do, your Skull Keeper into your Sandblast, Jeskai Sage, which I always appreciate the fact that it's, you know, 2 mana 1/1, but it gets bigger and draws cards and sort of makes itself just good enough to be very, very playable. Hunt the Weak is always very interesting because it, now that +1/+1 counter that you put on it, and I believe this is from M15 or M14, makes this card a lot more exciting. Because of the way +1/+1 counters work in the game right now with Cons Limited. Abzan Beastmaster, of course, is the Triumph of Ferocity on a stick, and I think he's very, very good. We'll see if he actually makes constructed. Wandering Champion, again, another 2 mana 3/1, and people are like, meh. Like, that's all it does. That's all it does is a huge upside that helps you filter cards. You know, like, come on, man. We're being spoiled. Jeskai Barricade, where I think Noah Bradley did a fan-freaking-tastic job. Look at that. I can't see it. Can you? There? Okay. Fine. Fine. You know what? You go look up the high-res because it's very, very good. Dromaka, the Eternal. So probably the only one beyond Silumgar, the black-blue one, that's going to reach Constructed because 5 mana for a 5/5 flyer that starts to boost itself is pretty ridiculous. So we'll see if that actually works out. And I got a Windswept Deed. Yeah! What? Get that fetch land, son. Fetch land hype. I dig it. I will take it. So, And I appreciate the fact that fetch lands are in this set, which is cool. So they're not just in the one sets and not worth $1 million freaking dollars. And there's Butt Fight, because who doesn't love a good butt fight? You know what I'm saying? Pressure Point, super good, crazy playable, super bad, never playable. Lotus Bastion is sweet. I like him. There's the terrible Define Ogre. Whisper of the Wilds is always playable and always good, because anything that taps for 2 mana is real, as it were. So there's your Boon Mark into your Elite Scale Guard. So now we have our uncommons. Scale Guard starting it off. Break Through the Line, also known as we're running out of names for cards on things. And Renowned Weaponsmith, which is great because it is referencing a card that doesn't even exist yet in Magic. Whatever Vial of Dragonfire does from the next set is going to be really sweet, I hope. Dagatar the Adamant, also known as a huge, crazy, ridiculous limited bomb. However, do not flip this up if you manifested it, because he will just die. He doesn't get his +1/+1 counters because he's already entered the battlefield, and you'll just flip him over to die. That makes me sad. I read about some people doing that, and I was like, oh, they didn't even know. They didn't even know that's how stuff works, and he's going to die. Oh, state-based effects. You're a cruel mistress. Okay. There's your Jeskai Sage, and there's your Rune Mark and your Butt Fight. Yeah! Gotta go with your Butt Fight and Pressure Point into the unplayables. It's fun because when we do this type of exercise, and if you're hanging out when we're doing all this, you kind of see where the print runs are. And you can start to see the pattern of, oh, well, if I see this card, I'm probably going to see this other card, which happens often. Valora's Stance, called the best standard card in the set via Brad Nelson, and I can't really disagree with him because the thing is unbelievably playable. Winds of Kalsisma? Kalsisma? Really? Okay. Not that good. Not as good as Valora's Stance, which is crazy. And there's a Soul Flare. Yeah! Go Soul Flare. It gets all the abilities. You and your Chromanticores can have a wonderful time. Like, they just, they're just going to, it's Chromanticore and Soul Flare. That's what it is. And there's your Scoured Barons, which is cool. So, put our Soul Flare right there. Because it flays the soul, ladies and gentlemen. Flays the soul. All right. More packs. More cards. It could be anything. We don't know what's in here. Well, we know there's a Cunning Strike in here. And the Irrational Cleric. Here's your advantage with your Surveyor. Ooh, Typhoid Rats is really good. Super good and limited. No one likes to block a rat because they always trade up, basically. There's your 3/5. And now see, there's Bathe in Dragonfire, which is very close to Vial of Dragonfire, except Vial is in the next set, whatever that card is supposed to be doing. There's your Divine Ogre into your Einot guy, which is often. Honor's Reward. Still curious if this will ever actually make a sideboard and whatnot in Constructed. Friendly Fire is really bad, pretty terrible overall. Sibsig Muck Draggers. Man, that's a mana cost, isn't it? 9 friggin' mana. Good gosh, that's a whole bunch. Warden of the First Tree. Oh my god, we opened a Mythic. Oh, the heavens opened, and a Warden of the First Tree popped out. Figure of Destiny he is not, however, I have heard from those who are playing with him that he tests out pretty well, and he may not be as bad as many are sort of discussing him. But regardless, I think it's really sweet. We finally got a Mythic. Yay, and I'm very excited. Woo. Rugged Highlands finishes out our pack. Okay, so more boosters. More of the boosters for all the things. We have our Pressure Point, and I love that card so hard. So good. Sandblast, which is great because it hits both attackers and blockers, which some of those spells don't, like Kill Shot, for example, only kills the attacker. Battlefront Cruciak, as it were, your 5-mana 3/4s of the world. Not great. Meringue River Prowler, who I have to make the terrible joke of calling him Lemon. I'll let you put that one together yourself. Mistfire Adept is your 4-mana 3/3 with Prowess card. Is very, very good, very playable. Most likely a first pick unless this rare is nuts. Oh, this rare is good. This rare is super good. Silumgar he's like all super toothy and looks a little derpy, but there's nothing wrong with that. And he happens to have an incredibly powerful ability. He's basically unkillable with 7 toughness, and will essentially you can ride him to victory. And I expect him to actually be ridden to victory in Constructed because all of these numbers are very important. He kills all of Elspeth's tokens. He doesn't get hit by Elspeth's minus ability because he has only 3 power. Very much an engineered card is what this card feels like. And there's a Bloodfell Caves in case you need to fix that mana, as you always should. Mana is good. Multicolor lands are great. I like it a lot. All right, we have our Pressure Point into our Aven Skirmisher. Look how skirmishy he is. bad, though. He's so bad. Ethereal Ambush, not bad. So good. You can wreck people with that card. Whisper of the Wilds, always playable. Super playable. Diplomacy of the Wastes. Now, I played Coercion, as we discussed in the set review, and tell you what, man, this is a Coercion with some upside, but Coercion was never that good. Reality Shift is that good. Super awesome. I like it a lot. Sudden Reclamation is here, so you can, at the end of their turn, do things. And there's a Wrath of God. There's your Crux of Fate. Or, I'm sorry, the Inhostilities. You know, the new Inhostilities in black, if you, as it were. I think I was expecting more people to freak out over this, and I don't think enough people freaked out. Because, like, guys, seriously, this is a black Wrath of God. There hasn't been one since, you know, there's Damnation, obviously, but it's been a while, and there's been various Damnation-like, you know, Wrath of God-esque effects, but never just good old-fashioned destroy all these creatures, destroy all those creatures. That's really sweet. We have our Hooded Assassin, the Aven Skirmisher. Oh, we've seen that a couple times. Into Lotus Blast Gen, which is way better than both of those cards. There's your Harsh Sustenance, because your Sustenance is so harsh. God, why you gotta harsh my Sustenance, brah? Obzon Kinguard, probably better than we kind of poo-pooed it in the set review. It seems like a sweet card. 4 mana, 3/3 that can gain lifelink. Seems okay, but it can get outclassed pretty quickly. Shifting Loyalties is, it's a weird card. Sometimes it's going to be amazing. Most of the time I think it's going to be really bad. Frostwalker, which is really cool. Brad thinks this is playable and constructed, and I sure would love to see it because it seems awesome. Monastery Mentor, yeah! Look, man, if we're going to pull some mythics, this is a mythic to pull. This card is bananas. You go to your produce aisle and you find this guy looking at you because he's banana. Card is fantastic. I'm putting him over here. I'm putting him over here. He's so good. In that pile. That's what I'm putting him. So you can see him. Thornwood Falls, you don't care about that card. You care about that card. That's right. So sweet mythic in the Monastery Mentor. I will take the Warden of the First Tree as another mythic. That's okay. Here's our Jeskai Rune Marks into Sandblasty Jeskai Sage. Sibsig, man. I can't really get over the Sibsig part, but it's okay. Here's your Sandstep Outcast, as we've discussed a few times. Humble Defector, so cool. I love the gameplay in this card. Now remember, it says tap colon. So what you do is you tap him, and you put that ability on the stack. And then you do something like Refocus. Before you draw cards, you untap him, then you tap him again, and then you let all that stuff resolve. And even though the opponent has them, by the time all the abilities resolve, that's okay, because you're still going to get all the sweet cards. So remember that. Sweet. Right, I've been doing very good. Cloud Form, even better. Woo! This card is ridiculous. And could very well make Mono Blue Devotion come back. We'll see. And Palace Siege is good. It's our third Siege. It's a very siegey box. It's very siege-filled, siege-like. And Palace Siege, again, one of the better ones. Super good. I think all the Sieges are really good in their own way. And either option is pretty bad for your opponent. It is Wreck You or Wreck You. And those are the types that I like. Probably a sideboard card, not so much one that you would main deck, but that's okay. Reach of Shadows into Hooded Assassin, and there's the Aven Skirt. See how many times I've seen this now? Like half a dozen? There's our Ride into Bean. Heel Cutter is super good. Card is cray. So good. Collateral damage is fine. Vault Breaker is the original Viashino Sandstalker with like a ridiculous amount of upgrades. Still a 4/2, still a 3 mana. To get out, to dash out, as it were. But you can always play it, and it lets you filter, which is really sweet. Destructive Dragon is a green dragon, and I'm glad it is the same mana cost and power and toughness as the others, because sometimes they make the green ones crappy, and I don't like that. Pyrotechnics, as we discussed, comes from all the way from Legends, which is nice. And there's Mardu Strike Leader, limited bomb, super powerful. I would not be the most surprised if I saw this in constructed in some way. There's a foil mountain. As I think you can tell from all of these packs, these lands are not rare. They're just not as common as your other, basic lands that they put in every pack, because they want to put in non-basic lands. However, which is, here's your Rugged Highlands, but you can still get a foil land in your pack as your foil, and it's not going on top of Monastery Mentors. It's not how we're rolling up in here, because that's not cool. But a foil mountain is as a foil mountain does. All right. Let's open some good stuff. There's Rakshasa's Disdain. I got a disdain for that card because it's bad. There's a Soul Tie Rune Mark and an Obzon Rune Mark. I don't think I've seen that. Heck, I think this is the first Fierce Invocation we've seen, which, again, it also looks really sweet, but it ain't quite that sweet. We have our 2 Crew Shocks. There's your 5/4 and your 3/5. And that's magic, ladies and gentlemen. What does green get? What does white get? Right in front of you. There's your Frontier Mastodon. Ideally turn on your Ferocious. But of course has to have Ferocious to turn on your Ferocious, so whatever. Shockmaw Dragon is very good, is very, very powerful and limited, as you do. Channel Harm, also very, very good, but you're kind of sending a telegram, you know, from many states away explaining what you're about to do when you have 6 mana and you could play spells, but you don't. Huge Stone Retainers is hugely bad. Rally the Ancestors is the weirdest card. Nothing about this card makes any sense. The word haste is not on it, so you can't attack with them. They get removed at the beginning of the upkeep, so you can't do it at the end of your opponent's turn. It's just like some weird combo card that I don't understand that exists, so a combo card can exist. But this is illustrated by John Avon, and that's awesome. All right. So that's one of this column, which will be interesting. Let's see if we can pull more cool stuff. I'm okay with the Monastery Mentor, though. I'll tell you what, man. Got some serious value back out of it, thanks to that. There's your Typhoid Rats and your Ethereal Ambushes. Archers of Karsi. Gosh, this card is real bad. The card is stanky bad. Oh, look at that again. See? You see what we're doing here? Us and our print runs. Hilarious. All right. Grave Strength, which is probably pretty good late game. I still think this card has a lot of potential. Seems really good. Here's your 6/4 First Strike Trampler guy. Light Form. Yeah. Card is like basically Balmy Unlimited. This card is bananas and crazy, crazy good. And there's another Palace Siege. Yeah, what's better than 1 Palace Siege? 2 Palace Sieges. Every single one of the sieges stack, which I think is cool. Every ability of the sieges stacks sort of properly, if you will. None of them punish you for drawing a second copy, and I think that's great, even if you choose the same option. And there's our foily Jeskai stage. Check it out. It's so foily and wonderful. I like it. It's still not going on top of the Mentor, though. It's going to go behind. That's right. Okay. Let's get our last column. Oh, man, guys, we're 2/3 there. All right, so we're going to keep going with our last stack of delicious Magic cards. Oh, I'm digging it. There's Will the Nog again. So good. Artwork is fantastic. And there's our Obzon Rune Mark and a Rakshas's Disdain, which is Terra bad. I like it. I've talked about most of these cards. There's your Crew Shock. He also doesn't have great stats. No one's really going nuts over him. Wild Slash is like the best shock ever. Has a bunch of words on it that don't really matter. Noxious Dragon, very, very good and limited. You will always like it. And Temporal Trespass, yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Another sweet, sweet mythic. And Bathe in Dragonfire as our foil. And I gotta tell you, that's a pretty sweet looking foil going on right there. See what's going on? That's sweet. That explosion looks awesome. Temporal Trespass, however, this card is super cool. Who doesn't want a Time Walk? And who hasn't figured out how ridiculously good Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time are, because they just got banned in Modern as of the recording of this video. So that'll show you to try to get your Power 9 back with your Delve. But that's okay. As I've mentioned in different places, I would rather have them printed Treasure Cruise and banned it than to have never printed it at all. So we got to have fun with it for a while and got to see just how good and how ridiculous cost reduction mechanics really are, because we're back at sort of the same situation of, yeah, they should have never printed that. All right, so here's our Fleshbag Marauder again. Merciless Executioner is very, very good. Fearsome Awakening is okay, and Cash Defense is not that good, but Mastery of the Unseen is an army in a can. You just pour a bunch of mana into it and just start getting morphs on and on and on and on. So that's sweet. And Bloodfell Caves rounds out the pack. All right. Got our Obzon Sky Captain with the Typhoid Rats and the butt fight. Yeah, this is not a card you see very often. I don't see a lot of butt fights. I think we've only seen 3 or 4 here, and we've almost through the whole thing. Speaking of ones you don't see, there's a Mardu Scout. That card is super good, and is also the playmat for GP Miami, which is nice that SCG is holding. So come to that, check it out. Fierce Invocation. That's a card, really sweet. Elite Scale Guard, even good when by itself. If you just top deck this thing, It's still a 4/5 that taps a creature when it attacks, which is really, really good. Dark Deal, which I really don't like. And there's Sib Sig Muck Draggers. That alliteration, man. It's kind of killing my soul. Toss of Gear, the Golden Fang. Some have called the best constructed card. I think we'll see. You know, generally, if the argument is you'd pay 1 mana for a 4/5 that had this little card drawing ability, would you do it? Probably. Probably so. So there's your scoured Barons, because they're so scoured, yet they're so barren. And maybe that's why they're barons, because they got scoured. That's how it works. All right, your Sultai Emissary, which is really good. Your Sky Captain into your Rune Mark. Man, we've seen that a million times. Into Dousing Gloom, that I'm not letting fall. There's your Map the Waste into your Bad Lava Axe. Your Ward Scale Dragon, which is going to stop them doing anything with your Boom Kegs, and your High Priest into your Team of War Shaman. Woo! Card is a limited bomb. Super limited bomb. You can have a ton of fun with this in casual. I don't think it's going to see constructed play by any means, but a foil Fearsome Awakening is pretty cool. Pretty shiny goodness. That's how that works. It looks really sweet. So I like it, and it's not better than our Sweet Mythics, so I'll put it behind the Sweet Mythics. Okay. Man, opening packs is the best. Feels good, man. Makes you happy. Dragon Bell Monk is really cool. Bathing Dragonfire is sweet. Kills things. Bad Lava Axes are bad. You know. Just going to move on through here. Our Renowned Weaponsmith, getting cards that don't even exist yet. Misfire Adept, super playable and limited. Probably my first pick so far. But Guest Conscription is awesome. It's really super casually oriented, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's got some really cool artwork, and it manifests all the things, and is super sweet, and is our 3rd mythic of the box. So that's nice. Alright. Ooh, it opened like butter. That's what it did. Sometimes the packs just open up just like you don't even have to do much. They just fall into place. So there's your Great Horn Cruciak. Great Horn Cruciak! That's a card. Ambush Krotik. Krotik? This card's bad. Good thing I don't really need to know how to say it, because you're not going to see it very often almost anywhere. Hungering Yeti is a sweet limited card. Frostwalker is, again, potentially constructed playable. I'd love to see it. Dragon Rage, not so much. And Dragon Scale General. Huge limited bomb that can get completely out of control really, really quickly. And there's our Scoured Barons, as you do. Don't know if we're going to get any more fetch lands out of this box. We'll see. I was hoping for 2. I was really hoping for 2 fetch lands. We did get the 1 Windswept Teeth, so, you know, 1 out of 2 ain't bad, but we still got a few packs to go. There's our Rune Mark and the Sandblast, as we've seen multiple times. Now, if someone's watching this to try to get a hold of print runs, you certainly have seen some patterns, if you will. Mardu Scout, however, oh, so good. Card is fantastic. And to only see 2 of them in this box is, you know, kind of makes me sad, but there's Orc Sure Shot. That's right. Hey, man, nice Sure Shot. You have your Ruthless Instincts that are so ruthless. The Shockmaw Dragon's good. And there's the Brutal Horde Chief. Yes! Now all of our mythics are really showing up, and that's great, because I like Brutal Horde Chief a lot. I think that card is super good, and I hope that it will hit standard like a Mack truck. Or, you know, at least hit standard like a Razor Scooter. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me something. Give me something. There's your Soul Summons, which is super good. It's a great card, better than your Bad Lava Axes and your crappy guys with Defender and Reach. Like, man, they really wanted to make that card stink. There's your Muck Draggers, which I don't like to even say. Hero's Blade into Light Form. Obviously the pick from this pack. Unless this rare is bananas. Oh, this rare is bananas! You're going to first pick this card because this card is nutty. You always want 5/5 dragons for 5 that make themselves into 7/7s when they attack. Those are fair Magic cards, you know, as you do. But Life Form's still pretty good, and I hate to pass it, but it's all good. Sultai Skullkeeper, into your Sandblasts, into your Jeskai Sages, into your Sultai Rune Marks, into Grim Contest, Butt Fight. I love Butt Fights. Not in real life, but, you know, Magic. Cool. And there's Lemon. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Yep. Break through the line. Do the thing in the stuff. Valorous Stance. Awesome. These are the constructed worthy cards you want to pull from your booster box. And now, oh my gosh, Jutai! Soul of Winter, not that good. Okay. Dismal Backwater is a card. It's so close to Dismal Backwash, which is kind of gross. Like, how bad does Backwash have to be dismal? Oh my god. There's more butt fights, because you can never have too many butt fights. Remember, that's a rule. Whisper of the Wilds is fine, man. Collateral damage is very similar to a sorcery in Mercadian Mass that dealt 4 damage, and not 3 damage, but it was also a sorcery. Sudden Reclamation, very good green regrowth spell, as it were. Friendly Fire is Terra bad, but behind it we have Alicia, who sometimes thinks about stuff, and sometimes smiles at death, and who loses her keys, and who thinks about things deeply, and who's a really good card in the Tiny Leaders format that's starting to pick up a lot of steam. So that's cool. And there's more Dismal Backwash, because that's gross. All right, so we have the 2 packs left. We have 2 packs. We have an Ugin one, a little hard to see, but there's Ugin. And then we have this guy whose name I forgot, the Viashino Sandstalker dude. So we're going to hold Ugin for the very last. And there better be an Ugin in there. It's going to be so Ugin-y. Soul Summons. It's going to be a called shot, man. Will the Naga and Ancestral Vengeance. I believe we've seen this every time. We've seen Will the Naga come up. So, there's Fierce Invocation. So fierce. Ardu Scout. Oh, we finally opened a 3rd one. It's so cool, because like we didn't see him for like half the box or whatever, and then he's like showing up everywhere. Cloud Form. The first pick out of this pack so far. Diplomacy of the Waste ain't any better. Reality Shift is really good, but not better than Cloud Form. And then. Oh, yeah! Soulfire Grandmaster like a champion. So, I don't think there's doing that last pack, but we are doing okay with the 2nd best mythic of the entire set right there. So, we got Monastery Mentor and Soulfire Grandmaster and Temporal Trespass and Brutal Horde Chief. Like, this box turned out okay. I'm pretty happy. But we got one more. We got one more, people. We can do this. We can pull yet another mythic. A Yam. Yet another mythic. We can do this. All right. Reach of Shadows is so reachy. The sustenance is harsh, but the pressure point is good. Sultai Emissary into Martyr Runemark. This terrible card into this weird card. This great card into this other bad card. And this card is bad. God, ooh, Fascination is woo. And like really, you know, you only have so many chances to use the word, certain words in Magic cards. You know, like Invisibility. They screwed that one right up, and they already used it in Legends. But Fascination, really? God. Shifting Loyalties is bad. Channel Harm is not great, but behind it is the last card you're going to see in this video. And it better be good. It better be so good. It better be good. Oh, there's Supplement Form. It's good and limited. That's okay, because we still have Soulfire Grandmaster. And remember, if he had Flash, you'd be Soulfire Grandmaster Flash. Oh my god. All right. So there is our supplement form. There is the entire booster box. In front of you, ladies and gentlemen, we have every single rare that we possibly opened out of this box. Look at all of them. Check them all out. Together, with their power combined, it is equals to what you would pay cash money dollars for. And as a result, I think it's super cool. I love the mythic rares that we got. I thought we did a good job sort of opening up the sweet goodness at the very end. And yeah, man, I am not unhappy with Monastery Mentor and Soulfire Grandmaster and friends. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that was the entire Fate Reforged booster box opened. I hope you guys had a good time hanging out with me opening some packs. Up here, you'll see where I opened a fat pack. You can hang out while I open the Fate Reforged the Fate Reforged fat pack. Over here are some additional unboxings that you can see from both myself and other luminaries of the world. What I want you guys to do is if you opened a box of cards, you tell me what you got. Did you get better than my sweet mythic run that happened there at the very end? I want to need to know about it. And so until next time, everybody, please like, subscribe, and make sure that you check out all the other SCG videos. I am Evan Erwin, tapping all the cards so you don't have to.